Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 275. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Howdy. How we doing?
I'd be in a little bit of better mood if the Red Sox hadn't lost on a go-ahead grand slam by Bo Bichette.
Big fan of that.
Considering I quite literally was thinking to myself tonight, I said, Self, is Bo Bichette, I don't want to say overrated, but has Bo Bichette, and I wanted to present the question to like Blue Jays fans or people that maybe are just more in tune with Bo Bichette's career thus far. But I just don't feel like Bo Bichette has hit that stride that many people thought he would hit by this point. I don't know. Like I just don't feel like I hear about him enough.
Well, that's the thing is that like Vladdy is just taken off ahead of schedule, and I think that everyone's expecting like the rest of that core to progress at the same
to keep
rate.
Pace.
Yeah, and it's just I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to be really good for a while. He's definitely a problem now in my mind. But yeah, he's just not holding on to that like Vladdy pace.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe subconsciously I'm holding him to this Vladdy standard.
I mean, I don't know. When's the last time you looked at his numbers?
I kind of didn't.
I got you.
I kind of just wanted to.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, quite literally. I'm scared to hear what you're going to have to tell me.
I mean, pretty solid career, 296 hitter, 46 home runs, 150 RBIs in 4 years. I mean, he had 25 stolen bases last year. Whoa, didn't see that. Yeah, I mean, I would say he's not like all-star caliber quite yet. He was an all-star last year, but I wouldn't say he's like a perennial all-star at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like where you just, every time you start the season, he's going to be on the all-star team, but I think he will be there for a while. Kid's good. Super athletic.
I didn't want to turn this into a Bo Bichette mooch hour because
I know you're feeling a little salty right now. I get it.
I'm a little upset. Sox been playing like hot trash recently. I'm just not in a great mood. And we're only going to double down by talking about some rather...
Miggy's the only good thing we're covering today.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe what we've got to talk about.
Yeah, it's just all bad.
Miggy's really the only highlight here. So if you're also feeling a little down from your team's performance or just life's got you down, misery loves company. So join the party. Yeah, let's talk Miggy. I know we had quite the Miggy experience last episode.
Yeah.
I think we were on air for
forever.
3 of his 4 ABs because we started just after his first AB. That would have been, was that Thursday?
It was Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, because the postponement on Friday. We stayed on like an extra. We stopped recording after his third AB, as if you've listened to the podcast, you know.
Yeah.
We just stopped recording. That's when we wrapped it up. And then Nate and I were like, we got nothing else to do. Let's just hang out and wait for his final AB.
Best.
And then I had the idea. I was like, you know what? Maybe we add a little bonus segment to today's pod and maybe get a live reaction if he does it. And he didn't because they intentionally walked him. And that was just a terrible thing to do on behalf of Aaron Boone. But comes out, Saturday? I think game 1 of a doubleheader against the Rockies. Gets his 3,000th hit in his first AB off former Venezuelan. He didn't change. He's still Venezuelan.
Fellow to a hot start today, my guy.
Fellow Venezuelan. I'm in a fragile state right now.
You are.
Antonio Senzatella. Very, very vintage Miggy going opposite field. Just
taking what the
Goes to
defense
show
gives
you
you kind of
he can-
thing.
Yeah, a guy can put it anywhere.
Yeah.
The thing I was happy to see with that was the crowd that turned out.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
if things go the way Tigers fans probably realistically expect them to go, they're not going to have a whole lot to pull for. Like I still am holding on to the belief that it's going to be a better year for the Tigers than years past.
Yeah.
But even with that said, I just don't know if they're going to have a whole lot to pull for. But time will tell. I'm not writing them off. But you know, they turned out. They said let's have a chance at history here. And sure enough, first AB he did. In fact, I didn't even realize the Tigers game had started.
I know. Same.
I mean, I had the graphic ready and had the post ready and all that, but I was late to the party by just a few minutes. And in this world, if you're late to the party by a few minutes, you might as well just not even bother showing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, first AB. And another thing that I was a big fan of was the Jose Iglesias interaction. That was cool.
That's what I was going to say.
Admittedly, I first saw it and I was like, why is Jose Iglesias, of all people, coming up and just going them all love? And then I remember that, you know, they're former teammates, but I'm like, I still feel like there's got to be somebody else on this field that can maybe be that guy to be the first embrace. But I mean, you know what? It's all good. Like,
oh, I just think it's cool because like I think there's certain players that transcend. I won't say competition, but like you know what I mean. Like they transcend and they're able to be admired no matter what the situation is. And I think that's what's really cool about like the timing of all this. You know, it's still April. You know, like there's still the long marathon ahead of us. Like there's no, you know, they're not either team struggling for a playoff race in August or whatever. You know, it's just like you could just be a fan in that moment. And I think that's what's cool about certain players like Miggy that have lasted, you know, for 2 decades of just being the guy, being a, you know, like how many Venezuelans get to look up to Miguel Cabrera and then go get to play with him or against him. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's cool seeing that. I liked seeing that. And it means a lot. Like it's certain things are bigger than that specific game or that score or that moment. And it's just, you can't help but be happy for the guy. And the guy's just been the guy for so long. Like it.
Right. And that's the thing.
Cool.
Is if you've been playing for as long as Miggy, your chances of you looking up after something like that and finding a guy that was there for the earlier stages of your career, not very likely. Yeah. So the number of guys, when you look up after that and you look around, the number of guys that have been there with you through that for a majority of, well, I won't even say majority, like a respectable chunk of your career, very slim. And that's more of a testament to his longevity and just the fact that he's been able to do what he's done for as long as he's done it. And I mean, hats off to the guy. I know we kind of give him a hard time. I feel like him and Pujols are kind of in that same vein where it's like you've done it. Like you've done what you needed to do. At this point, you're just, I mean, I don't even know what you would call it. I mean, I don't want to say they're kind of coasting, but it's like there's nothing else for you to accomplish, but you're just going out there and still doing it. I mean, like I've said before, if I was still able to be paid to go out and play baseball, like I'm not going to turn that down. Yeah. Especially for a guy like Miggy. It's like, I mean, if you guys will have me, I'll surely stick around.
Right. He's not costing the team anything, you know. It's just he's still producing, still doing his thing, and it's what you hope for. You know, you don't want to be like that weird anchor that you've been weighing the team down because you're sticking around too long. Like that's, in certain ways, I'm sure certain people see him as a little bit of that, but at the same time, you're like, you've earned the respect and the right to be written into the lineup every day for what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you still can do. He still knows how to hit baseball. It's like, that's what's cool. And that's what I like, that it wasn't. I think that's what's cool about like a 3,000 hit chase versus a home run chase, is that you can kind of see when guys, that's all they're going for, and it's these big hacks that, it's just like, it's more often than not a letdown. He's at the point where, it's just like, I'm just getting knocks. But he joins the elite company. What is it, 7th guy?
Yeah, 7th
500 and 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. The other 6 were Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Rafael Palmeiro, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, and Eddie Murray.
You know what's funny is that he's about to have another milestone immediately.
What is it?
600 doubles.
Doubles, yeah.
He's at 599. Like that. You've done everything, homie. Like
what a career.
You've checked a lot of boxes. So good for you. Really, really amazing. And just, I'm once again, just grateful that we were that generation that got to, admire the whole thing.
I mean, it's safe to say he's going in. Well, I say safe to say. Maybe I'm assuming here. Goes in as a Tiger. No,
I think he has to. He has to. He's been, 5 years as a Marlin to 15 as a Tiger,
and he only had. I say only. I have 0 hits in Major League Baseball, but he only had 842 hits with the Marlins. That's wild, man. We're saying only 842. Some guys don't even reach half that in their career.
Nope.
842 hits with the Marlins. But the interesting thing is there's currently no Marlins hats in Cooperstown right now. So he would be rocking the first if he were to go in as a Marlin.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is bogus. Like, if you're the Marlins, you're kind of just holding out hope that, maybe this guy goes in. Because he doesn't choose it, right? Doesn't the committee choose it?
I think so. That's what I've heard. I don't really know offhand, but that's what I don't know why. Why is it their choice?
Yeah, it's.
Hello. If I'm Miguel, I'm like, I'm the one that played. I'm the one that gets to choose this committee.
I'm the
committees and associations. I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of the politics. Let Miggy choose. If he wants a cartoon face up there with a Detroit Tigers hat instead of a is it bronze statue? Bronze?
Sounds right. Yeah. I'm not a metal expert, but
can't be copper. Copper would be ridiculous.
Bronze is a metal, right? Did I just...
According to the periodic table.
Bronze is... Yeah, what am I saying?
Gold.
I'm
just
really questioning
straight
myself.
Gold.
No, yeah, I know gold's a metal.
Straight gold would be kind of a flex. That should be cool though. Like, what if it was a different kind of metal? If you were like a first ballot versus not, like something, or like unanimous, something where it's like, I want a gold Mariano head in the Hall of Fame museum.
Well,
straight gold.
Well, that speaks to our whole point of like when we were talking about whether or not Jeter should be unanimous. And it's like, once you're in, you're in.
Once you're in, you're in for sure.
So, I don't know if distinguishing. I would probably say 95% of the guys that are living that are in the Hall would probably agree and say that
don't care.
We're all one here.
Yeah.
Give us the same.
And Miggy's going in this second. Unanimous?
He has to. Or you're saying? Oh, sorry. I thought you said first ballot.
No,
I was
unanimous?
like, no, definitely first ballot. Unanimous? Well,
what do you have to do?
What I'm saying and what I've been saying.
How has he not done it?
Look at the list of guys who weren't unanimous.
Yeah, but like at that point, you're understanding that writers die and new writers come into this, little association. So the new voters and stuff like that. So like I don't know, dude. Like, what else do you have to do? You're in a top 10 list of hitters that, like, the seventh, right? Is that what we said? The seventh hitter ever with 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Like, what is left? What do you have to do? I don't understand how he's not unanimous. What is the knock on him? I'm sure there's going to be one or two writers that just have to be that guy. But if it is, I mean, it just continues to further the point that it's the writer's God complex.
Hank Aaron wasn't unanimous. Willie Mays wasn't unanimous.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
We're not going down this road. We already have enough to digest.
Yeah.
From a negative standpoint here.
Yeah, let's keep this positive for Miggy. Congrats. Amazing to see. I mean, I was even rooting for it when he was playing against the Yankees. I wanted it to happen. So it's cool to see. Some things are just bigger than that specific game or moment.
Do you think Boone was pleased to find out that they weren't in town anymore. They had left. But do you think Boone was pleased to find out that their Friday night game versus the Rockies was rained out? Do you think he was happy it got delayed even another day?
Here's the thing, man. He's trying to win a ball game.
Okay, yeah.
He's trying to win a ball game.
Well, clearly that didn't work out for him.
It didn't. But like, that's the move to make. I mean, I think if anyone's in that position, you'd remove the name off the back of the jersey. You say, yes, I'm gonna put him on here.
I would argue that he walked him because of the name on the back of the jersey. Because if you look at
fine. If we ignore the milestones, but either way, like, he's trying to win a ball game. Dude, it was a 1-run game when he came up. So yes, let's walk. I don't want to say old and decrepit Miggy, but all things considered, old and decrepit to get to what, Austin Meadows? Yeah, it was a lefty-lefty matchup at that point.
Clearly this isn't why I'm a manager, but I feel like I would much rather pitch to a guy who just, it was
he's
second at the end of his
I believe
road.
it was second and third with one out or no outs.
Look, I get it. I'm just
trying to win a ball game. If it was like the last game of the regular season and Miggy was never going to get another at bat, that's a whole different story. It's April. Like,
they'd burn the city of New York down if Boone walked him and then final AB.
Oh yeah, like that would be disgraceful for sure.
Speaking of burning New York City down, can we just transition right into this Myles Straw Yankees business? You know what, Nate? We're gonna have a first on this podcast. Never, to my knowledge, never been done before. I am just now realizing that, contrary to what I said before we started recording, I need to get my charger. I haven't got my charger. So I'm going to go ahead and go get my charger. And while I'm doing that, do you just want to share with the people a little bit about our friends over Big League Chew?
I like that. You better run.
How about that?
You feeling all right? Hold on. Let me see.
This
is like when you like race for those youngins out there, where you used to have to like race to the kitchen on the commercial break before the show came back on.
Yeah, you don't know that struggle.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, I take that back. Streaming services they got the little timer up in the corner now, where it's like you kind of know.
I guess
which
did
is
that
also
the other day.
I don't like that. I like,
but you can still pause it. That's the thing, is you still pause it when you get back, so it's not that same pressure. When you're a kid, like, your family's yelling at you, and you're like, you're just washing your hands as quick as you can after you pee, so you can run back into the room. There you go. All right, you ready?
That's real pressure. All right, I'm gonna go get my
this.
charger. No, feel free to share a story. Maybe look back on our call with Rob.
Big League Chew, founded by former left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson. Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mavericks bullpen in 1977. For more than 40 years, the iconic pouch is packed with shredded, flavorful bubble gum, has become the #1 shredded gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches and is designated as the Hall of Fame bubble gum. Grab some gum, head to Big League Chew's social media channels, at Big League Chew on Twitter, at Big League Chew Gum on Instagram, to show off your Big League bubbles. You can also find a list of retailers to purchase any of their products directly from their website at BigLeagueChew.com. Big League Chew crushed it. He's not even back yet, guys. He's not even back. Also, I think I could do that job where you're just reading off all of the horrible, terrible things that medicine does to you. You know, where those commercials where you're watching like old people in the bathtub in the park. And they're like, take this pill. You'll love your wife even more, but you could also die of all these things. I could be that person reading everything off. I think I'm really good at it. And he's looking at me now. He's plugging stuff in. Get it together. I'm just asking you to be a professional.
What are you over here telling the people about?
I cannot wait until you come back. When you edit this and you listen to how quick I read through that, I'm impressed with myself.
So then what have you been sharing with the people?
I basically told them that I think, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to leave this little nugget for you.
You're just going to leave this nugget?
Yeah, I'm not going to fill you in. This is between me and the people. Me and the, what do we call them? The takers?
No, we're sorry. I
don't like that.
I was feeling.
Why does it sound like it sounds like a corny movie, The Takers.
Yeah,
Is that a movie?
I was feeling generous because I just didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We're not doing The Takers. I'm sorry. I slept on it that night. Actually, I didn't even have to sleep on it. I was reading through the suggestions and I was like, Takers. No, we're not gonna be The Takers. We need something a little better than that. So, a little side note. Let's get back to brainstorming, folks, because we're not doing the Takers. Get those creative juices flowing. Put on your thinking cap. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Something a little more creative.
Yeah, I mean, we're like a top 20 podcast apparently now, so
yeah,
gotta have something a little more respectable than the Takers. Yeah,
probably for my ad reads, I blazed through it like an auctioneer. You know, where Michael's like, 600 in the back, sold.
Does see 500 in the back, 500 in the back. What? Nobody in the back. All right, I'm curious to see.
Just me and the blues.
It just says Creed. Yeah, that's all inclusive. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to what you had to share with the folks. But in the meantime, Nate, let's talk about Myles Straw and the quote worst fan base on the planet. Look, all I'm gonna say is I went back and watched the series of events. It just got my blood boiling. I'm like, this is so.
It's bad. It's really bad.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pathetic.
Honestly, I agree. Like there's no words that you could use to describe this that I wouldn't agree with. Like it's.
And look, I know
embarrassing.
I know you because you said it to me already. I know you don't like when fan bases get swept with a broad brush, when they get generalized. And you say, well, that's not all Yankee fans.
Yeah.
At some point, though, we have to be a little objective and recognize that fan bases, like, you can rank anything. You can figure out ways to quantify it. Like if you wanna dig into the records and see how many in-stadium fights there are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the Dodgers and Padres are well atop that chart, but like they're like, sure, you can't generalize entire fan bases, but like I said, objectively, there probably is one or multiple ways to rank these fan bases. Yeah. However, using whatever criteria you want. And I just have to think that the Yankees fans have to be somewhere at the top of whatever list we're using to rank, because I just feel like people say, well, it was an isolated event. Nah, I feel like this happens little more than once.
Oh no, yeah. This stuff definitely happens. I think the best explanation that I heard, I don't know why, I can't remember who said it, was I mean, and I've been scrolling through like every post that came out across like all these baseball accounts, including ours, and I'm reading through comments, and I'm looking through, and what I will say is that any Yankees fans that are commenting are in agreement with me in saying that, like, this is embarrassing. It's disgraceful. It's It should never happen. Ever. Yes, Myles Straw climbing the fence and getting in a guy's face, that doesn't help. Of course not.
No, but can we?
But it doesn't.
Look
It
at
doesn't mean that you get to throw garbage at him. It doesn't
Right.
mean that you get to do those kinds of things ever. Doesn't matter what a player does, unless that player is getting into the crowd and actually throwing hands like Ron Artest with the Pacers. I think it was Pacers.
Malice at the Palace.
No, it's not the Pacers. Someone's gonna get mad at me.
It was it was Detroit, wasn't it?
I'm struggling to
This
remember.
is why we have Google. Pacers Pistons.
Was it Pacers Pistons?
Yeah, our test would have been with the Pacers, so it was Detroit. Yeah,
So I was right. Okay, cool.
I was also right.
Yeah, Mouse at the Palace. I got
How
that.
about that? A little
Look at
NBA
us.
nugget, trivia
Yeah,
nugget for
no big deal.
the non-basketball guy.
No big deal. But yeah, I mean, I think barring any circumstances like that, this is inexcusable and it's not okay. Like, it's never okay. It's never okay to look at players in any other regard other than a human being. And like, yes, there's different pressures of being a role model, of being a major sport athlete. There's different obligations that come with the size of the paychecks. But they're not animals. You can't spit on them and throw things at them and completely destroy stuff. And I mean, it's true. At this point, like, I don't know how to defend it. I don't know how to defend it. There are people there in New York that are horrible, and I don't know if I can call them Yankees fans. John Sterling said that, after the call, that when Glaber walked it off, he's going through his call and it's, the Yankees win and all that stuff comes out. And then he's like, it's being ruined. And he said that this isn't Yankee Stadium. This isn't Yankees fans. This is embarrassing and it should never happen. And I agree 100% that it's not okay. Like, I am mortified to see that kind of stuff. And I love that Yankees players actually went out there and stopped it. They stopped their celebration of a walk-off to go out there.
Well, let's not get too far ahead here. Let's break this down. Well, first of all, in regards to the John Sterling's comments about Yankees fans,
Here's the comment.
I feel like
I know what you're going to say. Here's the comment that I read that I forgot to mention before, is that they're not Yankees fans. These are just New Yorkers. And that you can somewhat understand. If you walk around New York City, I mean, people are mean. People are brutal.
No, and I get that. But like, again, it goes back to this argument that's being thrown out there where it's like, well, you can't generalize. Like, this is just an isolated incident. There was more than one beer can thrown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't just like hey, let's roll back the tape, circle the guy that threw it, and ban him for life. Like, it was raining bottles and cans when it got down to the end of the ordeal. But like I said, we won't get too far down the road here. Let's back it up. So, safe to assume general sports heckling was carried out throughout the game. Safe to say, right? I mean, you've been to Yankee Stadium. You've told me before, when we were looking at tickets for a potential wild card game in New York. Yeah, we were actively avoiding those sections.
Yeah.
So, safe to say, Stephen Kwan was out there getting heckled. I would like to think, the optimist in me would like to think that it was good natured. It wasn't anything too serious. But I would imagine you probably had a few instances where people were getting a little too far over the edge with whatever they were saying. So then, I don't even remember what it was. It was like the bottom of the eighth.
So it was bottom nine. Like, the Yankees were down their last strike.
9. Yeah.
And IKF hits a double off the wall over Stephen Kwan's head. Stephen Kwan crashes into the wall. That double ties the game, but Stephen Kwan was shook. Like, he hit the wall hard. And that left field wall is like, it's chain link, and then it's like a
LED board behind
like an
it.
LED board. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So it's not those padded walls. And even then, padded walls have concrete behind them. So those walls aren't soft. So he hit it hard, and he was shook up. His hat came off, like glasses came off. He hit it hard, like potential concussion kind of thing. And then I think that's when, I don't know if it was directed at him or just Straw, but Straw wanders over. And now we've seen this new video released where someone in that front row basically has the camera right where Straw climbs up the fence.
Well, so they came out to check on Quan because he's obviously shook. I mean, he's beaten up pretty bad after crashing on the wall. And Oscar Mercado, they asked him after the game, and they said, yeah, somebody was essentially celebrating the fact that Quan was hurt.
Yeah.
And that's what he took issue with. He's like, we just don't do that.
For sure, yeah.
Which is
sure.
like, that shouldn't have to be said.
It really shouldn't.
I don't
Really
understand why
shouldn't.
there's people that go to sporting events. Like, I don't care how much beer you've had.
Yeah.
That's idiotic.
Yeah. None of you in this stand, in these seats, can do anything close to what these players are doing.
And so the fact that you're like celebrating this injury,
yeah.
and then that's where Mercado walks over, and then Straw right behind him, and then like you just said, we see the video of Straw taking issue with a particular fan, which by the way, a bunch of betas out there, if I do say so myself. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, those are the people that this is what society is now, dude. There's no consequences
it's
for
sad. No
for what you
accountability.
say. No, there's no accountability, and there's no consequences for what is being said in comment sections on social media. Now it's starting to come into, person-to-person interaction like this. But these people, the people that do this, don't see athletes as equals. Like, it's clear that they look down on them, and that's not acceptable ever.
They think it's like a circus, and it's like their entertainment. It's like,
right, like they're not real. Like, Myles Straw will come up there and kick your ass, and he's absolutely going to be able to if he really wanted to. But he would, jeopardize everything he is and has. Doesn't, it doesn't help what he did. But you can understand why he did it.
No, and I feel I was thinking a lot about this today, and I feel like for the longest time I probably would have agreed and said no, like these athletes have to have like higher standards. They have to control themselves better. Which I mean, to a degree, I still believe that.
Yeah.
But we're getting to the point as a society, like you said, zero accountability. You don't have to answer for anything now. You can just spout off whatever because of social media, this and that. And this cell phone age that we're in now, where everything is just for the video, for the engagement, the wow, like the shock factor. Because if you go back and look at the video, multiple people had their phones like up in his face. It's like, what are we really doing? This wouldn't have happened however many years ago.
No, this stuff sucks, dude.
When we didn't have the cell phones.
And it's going everywhere. I mean, we see it in the NBA a ton, It's just, it's not good. And I genuinely hate that it was a Yankees incident, and it sucks, and it's embarrassing. And it's like, there's no way of me being able to defend this. You can't defend this. Like, if someone says, oh, like your stadium sucks, like, okay, that's one thing. Like, I can defend that and talk about, the stadium. But like, this is an instance that you can't defend, and it's not okay, and it's not acceptable, and it's rough. But fast forwarding, Glaber pinch hits a walk off. I think technically a single that scores IKF. A few minutes later, and the ball goes in the right center gap. Myles Straw goes over to basically go over to it, and Mercado is in right field, and then once they're close to the wall, these all this trash starts raining down on them, and like, you watch a walk-off celebration be a certain way, like especially on a base hit, everyone goes and meets that hitter, and he's typically somewhere around second base, and you hound him, you jump with him, and all this stuff, you rip his jersey off, and it's like the moment was ruined by a couple dozen people that just decided that they're above everyone else and throw trash at other. I mean, if if you did that to anyone else on the street, just in a regular scenario, you're getting your ass kicked. Plain and simple. By anybody. Anybody that has any type of instinctual, precaution and self-safety.
Or anyone who has any basic understanding of how justice works.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just do whatever you want to do and expect there to be zero consequences.
No.
Unfortunately, a lot of these people that are at the game, like, I know baseball gets ragged on as being like an old person sport, but a lot of these people who are going to the game, like, look at the first 2 rows at Yankee Stadium that day.
Yeah.
A lot of them are probably people our age. A lot of these guys and girls have grown up with this false sense of security where it's like you can just say or do whatever you want and there's zero consequences because mommy or daddy is going to be there to make it all better. It's like, no, if you, like you said, if you throw trash at somebody on the street, that's it.
You're done. Yeah.
That's it.
You're done. Yeah. So, I mean, I think, I don't know if we're ever going to hear anything about it. I hope that there's like security footage being watched right now to try and figure out those seats to go back to some type of transaction to get a name and like people like that shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the stadium. You're not invited back. You're banned. And like, I don't want you as a fellow Yankees fan, honestly. I don't think anybody does. And that's represented by, our core players that go out there and say, if you're going to throw trash, you might as well throw it at me too. Cause these guys are just like me. So stop. And that's what happened. And it's, like I said, it sucks, dude. It's embarrassing. And it's not okay. Like, it's one thing heckling people. It's one thing, getting under a player's skin and being that kind of fan. But there's a line. And this is way over it. And it sucks. It sucks that we're talking about this. This shouldn't be a thing. Ever.
It's just comical. Like, I was thinking about it today, and I was like, you know what? You and I would never do anything like this. Like, sure, we hound guys on the podcast. There's an entertainment factor to it. We would never outright go up to someone and say or do some of the things that we've seen over the last however many years, and specifically like this incident.
Calling someone a bum from 12 rows up is not the same thing.
Yeah, like go back and watch the wild card vlog. For like I was hounding the whole Yankees lineup. That's what a fan should do, and that's how it should go. And that's what you do. But if Giancarlo Stanton walks up to me, I'm not gonna say like, what outcome is there for me except just getting my tail kicked if I'm running my mouth? And I understand that going into a situation like that. Because I'm not a confrontational person. I mean, ask Nate if you want to. I'm probably one of the least confrontational people there is.
Yeah.
Because I recognize that I'm not, if I have feelings of disgust or if I dislike a certain player, I'm not going to do something like this because I know that I'm not going to be able to back it up.
Yeah.
But I don't think these particular quote unquote fans have really come to grips with that about themselves yet. They really think that they're going to be able to hide behind their cell phone and be protected because they know that they're not going to do anything. One of these days, we're going to see a Malice at the Palace in a baseball field.
It's coming for sure.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it in the past, but credit to those. Like, you think Gary Sheffield back in Fenway.
Yeah.
Like, he's throwing hands.
Yeah.
But I think even then, going back to that point in time, it's like at least the fans probably had a little more self-respect and awareness of the situation to go, okay, I'm in this now. But these little betas out there in left center and right center, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
Yeah, not at all. And you could definitely hear it. And every player has admitted that. Every player hears stuff. Especially when it's a single guy that's louder than one, the others or whatever it may be. The players hear it and it's just like there's certain things you say and there's certain things you don't say. And if you're talking about, a player's family, if you're talking about anything like that, it's not cool. And that's crossing the line. Throwing trash is way over the line. Way, way over the line. As far as generalizing fan bases, I don't know how to defend it.
I hate to say it, guy, but
I don't know how to defend it. I mean, you have trashy people for sure in every fan base, but it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know how to defend it at
Look,
this point.
I'm not.
I just know that, like, I just try to think of, if I'm walking around in a Yankees hat, please don't look at me that way. That's what I mean by generalizing, is that, like, don't look at me that I'm someone who's going to throw trash at a player because I'm wearing a Yankees hat. That's my fear of generalization, is that, like, I don't want to be looked at that way, because I would never be that way. And I could probably guess that at least 90% of that stadium fits in that same category. At least. It's people like that really tarnish the brand.
But that's the case with all teams, though. So,
For
like,
sure.
you really only have that 10% to really work,
sure. I agree
to
with
look
you.
at and break these fan bases down.
I know.
Because, to your point,
I'm telling you, I don't know how to defend it anymore.
No, and I get it.
I mean,
'cause
Roger Maris gets traded over, and he's had stuff thrown at him during games as a Yankee player. Back in the old stadium, like, the right field was like fold-up chairs being thrown at him. Yes, it's a common thing. Of course it's a common thing. It sucks. And it is what it is. It's just, I wish things would change. I hope there's regulations and security and things like that can prevent this, and lifelong bans. And, like, I mean bans. Like, you're not allowed in Yankee Stadium, and you're not even allowed to buy MLB TV anymore. Like, you are done. That's how I think it should happen. And I hope there is some type of investigating that happens that prevents this type of stuff. And no matter what Myles Straw says, no matter what Myles Straw does, barring hopping into the crowd and throwing punches, it's not okay. There's no justification for that. Don't do it.
Last thing I'll say on it, and I was kind of getting to that point, I think I just got a little sidetracked, but while for the majority of my life I've been a believer, as I was saying, of the fact, or of the I've been of the belief that players should hold themselves to a higher standard. They shouldn't be drawn into an encounter such as that.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't respond with violence, this or that. But honestly, I'm getting to the point now where, like, it's getting to the point where I don't even care what these people are saying. It's just the way that they're handling themselves. Because, again, if you go back and look at that video, you've got a guy giving the fingers while he's hiding behind a guy in front of him, and he's giving him the fingers. And I'm like, honestly, at this point, if Myles managed to hop the fence,
yeah,
have at him. Like, if this is the world that we're living in, because we're not going back. Like, I hate to say it.
No, it's only going to get worse.
It's a pipe dream. Like, we're not going back to a civilized society.
Yeah.
That maybe once existed in a ballpark. Like, this is the new norm until policies are implemented. But I like I said, I'm starting to come around to the fact where it's like, you know what? If we're gonna start, like, beyond chirping, like, if beyond the casual chirp, if you're gonna start running your mouth and having your phone up recording the whole thing because you want to seem like an alpha, even though you're truly a beta or whatever is even below that, like, let's turn it into UFC. Honestly, like, let Myles hop the fence.
Well, I think there's certain things that'll have to be regulated. It's just you can't regulate another person's freedom of speech. That's obviously never going to go away. But I mean, like, if people used to storm the field, and Hank Aaron had to bulldoze through people on his record-breaking home run. So it's just like, same thing with Reggie Jackson in the World Series. Like, this stuff happens, and it's gotten better. I hope this kind of stuff gets better. I hope that like, players can have some type of, like, something should happen for Myles Straw. You know what I'm saying? And I think when we talk class, if you have it or if you don't, the Yankees need to do something. And I mean the organization needs to do something. And some type of gesture towards Myles Straw, towards other Guardian players.
Stephen Kwan, that's what's been lost in this whole thing. Stephen Kwan's apparently one of the nicest guys on the planet.
Yeah, like
and we're celebrating an injury.
That's stuff that has to, like, some type of gesture, something there, and like it. I think it is in there. I think that when you associate class, I think that you can assume that majority of Yankees have it. But Yankees fans are just a totally separate conversation, something totally separate. And in some ways, the organization is responsible. In some ways, they are. So I do hope that there's something that happens out of it. I want to see this turned into something positive. Whatever it may be, dude. Like anything. Like if Myles Straw has a charitable organization, or like, can we make a donation? Like something like that, to where it's just like, hey, this is not us. This is not the Yankees. These are outliers. I don't know if anything happens. I don't know if it does, if we'll ever hear anything about it, but I don't know. I think, there's something that's got to come out of this that's positive, and none of it has been.
I don't think it will, because I think Yankee fans are because I've seen it. They're justifying everything that happened because he came up on the fence. But it's like, that doesn't give you free reign to say literally whatever you want and to just outright harass someone because that it's frowned upon for them to respond in any sort of way. That's why I'm saying, like, if we're going to just start opening the floodgates and just letting people say whatever they want without any real repercussions, and I'm talking about fans, then...
Well, it's clear that no one out there ever played. In my mind, it's pretty clear that you've never played the game of baseball if you're doing that kind of stuff.
No.
And I said this in our group chat. I mean, I hope it's not the case, but I hope that majority of baseball fans out there are bigger baseball fans than their favorite team. I'm a bigger baseball fan than I am a Yankees fan, and I will die on that hill forever. And that's the type of person you have to be. And I mean, I don't know how many kids were in those first couple rows in right field, that like cans that we're not seeing get to the field that come up short, and there's kids with beer getting thrown on, like, and there's a dad there just trying to do his best to
protect
keep his kids
his daughter.
Safe.
There was over in right center. He was like having to shield her. I'm like, this is
not okay.
This is just
never ever happen.
Pathetic, man.
It's miserable, but I've seen it. I mean, I've definitely seen it. It's not good. It's not good, for sure.
Just scum of the baseball earth, the world, man. I don't want to waste any more energy on it because we have to save what little energy we have left to talk about how Angel Hernandez is just
the worst.
Just awful. I'm getting to the point now where I dislike Angel Hernandez so much now because it's and honestly, what did it for me? It was that video. I don't know if you saw of him
at
driving off out of the parking lot. It's almost
smirk.
like this. It's like this smug. Like, it's like I can literally do whatever I want, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Yep.
Maybe Angel Hernandez was out in left field at Yankee Stadium on Saturday.
Could have been.
Because clearly that's the approach he's taking.
Angel Hernandez is that Kermit meme where he's got the hood over him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's Angel Hernandez just in the right field, just being like, I know you're not done with that beer yet, but launch it. Launch it as hard as you can.
Call this ball that's 6 feet off the plate a strike and ring them up emphatically.
Laugh when people say they hate you.
Embrace
when we know
Angel.
You're going to go home and cry.
Embrace it, Angel.
Angel sucks, dude. He sucks.
Just the absolute worst. And for me, going back to it, it's the emphatic signals that he gives. Like, dude,
yeah, like he's confident about it.
You've acted like you've never been so sure of something in your life.
Yeah.
And you're more times wrong than right, it seems. Yeah. So how does that happen? Is this man legally blind?
I don't know, man.
Because there's no way that you can be that confident when you know you've seen these umpire report cards. You know you're terrible.
Yeah. I mean, they get a report, they get a card literally after every game. As soon as they're walking up the tunnel, they get handed their card. And this scorecard that I pulled up, that we were talking about earlier, called ball accuracy for this Brewers and Phillies game that ended in a 1-0 Brewers win. Called ball accuracy was 94%. Umpire average is 97%, so that's definitely bad.
Yeah, you may think it sounds good, but it's actually lower than the average.
Yeah. And this is way down. Called strike accuracy. Oof.
The average is 88%.
Yeah, 77% for Angel during this game. 11 of the 48 called strikes. 11 of the 48 were actually balls. Favoring Milwaukee for .77 in runs.
Which, if you round that up, is 1. And what, Nate, remind me what the final score was?
1-0.
Yeah.
1-0. As far as what Schwarber did, I'd love to talk more about that because that was perfect.
Can we get Kyle Schwarber on the podcast? Oh,
was that the most perfect thing you could have done?
Yeah, I think it was Cespedes Barbecue. They tweeted, they were like, I think it was them. They were like, this may have been the perfect ejection. Like,
yeah.
You do what all of us were thinking. You threw equipment, but you didn't do it in the direction of the umpire.
Exactly.
You didn't stay for, I think they said comically long, which he didn't. He went into the dugout after his outburst and then came back out for an encore, which you have to applaud. Yeah. And then he goes back in and is chirping from the dugout. I mean, 10 out of 10. He's
basically saying it's both sides, dude, and it's every game. It is every game that Angel Hernandez is behind the plate.
And you know the sad thing about it? He won't see retirement until he decides to hang it up.
Was I right in that? I know I sent in our group text, we were talking about it, like MLB can't really do anything. They have their own union for umpires.
The umpires, yeah. And look, that's another thing. Let's talk about this union.
What are you doing? Like, hold yourself accountable as a union.
That's what I'm saying. I get it. Like, I respect the tight-knit fraternity umpire union aspect that you're holding on to so dearly. I get that and I respect it. But if you have any respect for the fraternity that you're holding on to so dearly, why don't you look at this individual who claims to be a representative of your fraternity and acknowledge that maybe we would be better off without him because he's making an absolute mockery out of this fraternity.
100%. 100%. He is awful. Awful. And I had one of my buddies that I coached with right after high school. I got into coaching and we played together in high school, but his older brother actually coached us when we were in high school. But his older brother went through like umpire school. He was in the minor league, like he was in the minor leagues umpiring for a few years. And there's a standard that you have to hold. And he just kind of told us, he was like, it's hard to get to the big leagues. You have to be near perfect to qualify as an umpire at the big league level. And he said it's just a constant standard that you have to hold. And it just doesn't make sense that you hold umpires to that standard to get there, but not when they're there. I think it's pretty clear that there is no standard. Angel Hernandez is awful, like comically bad. And now it's affecting games. It's affecting paychecks. It's affecting a lot of stuff.
I saw someone tweeted, they said, if Angel Hernandez is the fix to keep games shorter, I'll take long games.
I'll take 4-hour games all day.
I don't even care, dude. This is atrociously bad.
It's miserable.
And it's unfortunate because it came the missed calls were all night long.
Yeah, I think
this particular instance came came innings after they were interviewing Bryce Harper, who was a DH last night or Sunday night, and they were asking about like robo umps and pitch clocks and stuff, and he was like, I made the quote graphic. He was like, I don't want to change the game that much. I like the human element.
Mm-hmm. That's different. That's different.
It's different, and I'm still a believer in the human element, and I want umpires to say,
yeah.
And people are saying, well, you have to choose. Like, do you want the right calls, or do you want to be able to complain about the umpires? I want both. Like, I want umpires to be held to a higher standard, but I want the human element to still exist because I enjoy complaining about it.
11 of 48 called strikes were wrong.
You would be lying to yourself if you said you didn't find it cathartic to crack open a cold one on a Friday and complain about how poorly your boss mistreated you throughout the week, to your buddies, whoever you're with, your significant other, your spouse, whatever it may be. That's cathartic. And you would say, well, then why don't you just change job? It's like, well, I mean, I kind of like my job. It's just this one aspect that I don't really enjoy.
Yeah.
But it gives me something to complain about once a week over a couple beers. It's like, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I like having the umpire there, the human element to complain about, because if you take that away, it just becomes very bland.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you get the calls right. Have you seen video footage of these robo umps that they've got in the works?
Yeah.
Do we really think the calls are going to be much better? Probably not.
It's bad. So, I mean, honestly, why have a catcher? Why have a catcher? Just put up one of those strike zones with like the padded strike zones with the 9 little cubbies that you can throw into. But yeah, I mean, as far as Angel goes, the 3 biggest moments that they put on this report card: bottom of the 5th, Lauer pitching to Camargo, no outs, runner on first and second, a 1-0 count. A strike is called a ball. So when you're talking about, man on first and second with no outs and you fall behind 2-0 versus a 1-1 count, that's a big change. It's a big deal. Next big moment was bottom 5, same inning. With 1 out, bases loaded, 0-0 count, ball is called a strike. So as a hitter, you're Gene Segura, you're like, you're in the hole, 0-1. That's a big difference from 1-0. Big difference. And then obviously the last one that we've all seen, Schwarber. It was bottom of the 9th. Josh Hader was pitching, 1 out, bases empty. It's a 1-run ball game. 3-2 count. So you're talking about getting the winning run on base. And he rings him up.
Or no, overall, it would have been the tying run because it was 1-0 at that point.
Tying run. My apologies. Yeah, tying run on base.
Winning run at the plate.
Winning run at the plate. So, and overall accuracy for this game was 88%. The umpire average is 94%. So that's a very bad game.
Yeah, think about your school experience. 88's not getting you any awards or certificates.
Yeah.
That's a B+.
I'll give a little free shout out to the umpire scorecards on Twitter if you want to look up these cards.
Yeah, they do great work.
But what's funny is that like if you scroll down to the next one, it's about Scott Berry in a Royals Mariners game, and it's got like 300 likes, 33 comments. You go to Angel Hernandez,
Angels is blown up,
23,000 likes, almost 1,000 comments. It's just like it's not good. It's really, really not good. Something's got to happen, dude. Something's got to happen. Like a suspension or just fire him at this point. I mean, the track record has been painful to watch.
And to think
the sample size is big enough. Fire him.
Plenty big enough. To think that this guy cited racism for not being in the World Series. Have a little self-awareness.
I want to buy that judge a beer, by the way, for him coming out and saying, no, you're just terrible.
You're just awful at your job, Angel.
Yeah.
have a little self-awareness. Awareness clearly just isn't one of Angel's strong suits.
No.
Whether it be literal awareness or self-perception. Or anything.
Yeah, someone's screaming at you when you're in your car and you just smile. You suck, man.
Just awful. Well,
also, I don't recommend that as a, we just talked about this with the Yankee stuff and Straw. Like, I don't recommend waiting in the parking lot for someone to leave their job so you can scream at them.
Yeah.
Put it on video. Don't do that either.
Like, look, we're just ragging on Angel right now, but what if last night was Angel's breaking point and he just slammed on the brakes?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like, you know what? I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I know I'm the worst umpire in baseball, but I don't need to take it from this slime ball behind his little iPhone.
Ridiculous.
Like, Angel could have thrown hands last night.
Yeah.
That would have made for a great video.
I would have been down. I would have been down for it. Honestly, I think that might have to be the goal, though.
Try to get umpires to throw hands.
No, just get Angel to his breaking point. Just Angel. Everyone in America, baseball fans everywhere, get Angel Hernandez to his breaking point to where he gets himself fired. Someone's got to take one for the team.
That's the plan.
You got to eat those knuckles right to the freaking jaw.
That's
the Angel Hernandez ring 'em up knuckles. You just got to take a couple punches and boom, there you go.
Yeah, because a lot of these ballparks they have that. It's like right behind home plate, right, where they have that like little door.
Yeah,
that they walk through. Isn't that how they get out of the park, or at least back to their like
most of them.
room?
Yeah, there's like a little tunnel there. Sometimes they're private.
So I mean, you got to walk past a handful of fans before you get to where you're going. So I mean, let's use that to our advantage. I'm not saying incite violence here.
No.
If you can do it in a way that clears you of any wrongdoing, and maybe get Angel to throw some hands.
That's the trick.
That's the mission. We just got to figure out how to do that.
We got to set a little trap for Angel.
Just get him to.
He's too dumb.
Yeah. What are we saying? His awareness is.
He's absolutely
in the
clueless.
Negatives. That's about all I had. Unless you got anything else.
Honestly, I feel pretty beat up. This is a rough way to end my Monday.
Little closing the book here.
Cheer me up a little bit. Give me something good.
How's this? Offensive numbers are just downright terrible right now.
Oh, no.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
I do. The shift. I already told you this.
Dude, it's not the shift. Like, you just look at the way take away positioning, take away the lack of preparation.
Why do hitters only worry about launch angle now? Because they have to lift the ball to be able to do what they do. And baseball is rewarding them by paying them on slugging numbers versus overall batting average production.
Look,
just getting on base.
I don't know how much Joey Gallo is paying you. I'm not talking about launch angle here. I'm not talking about the shift. I'm talking about watching baseball games because I know that you have been watching baseball games, and you have to acknowledge that there's just something different about the way the ball is coming off the bat and the way the ball is traveling in the air. Because it's not the same as what it used to be.
Definitely a part of it. Whatever MLB is doing, and the fact that they can own Rawlings is a complete conflict of interest. I don't know how that's allowed.
So then let me ask you this. How can you say it's the shift if the numbers from this April are still lower than other Aprils when the shift has been a thing?
No,
it's not just the shift.
No, it's the shift is a big part of it. And you talk about teams that are shifting more. I watched a Mets game the other day, and they said they were they were really low on the percentage of shifting they were doing last year, and now they're one of the highest shifting teams in baseball. Teams are shifting more. That is a part of it. And we won't know until next year when the shift is finally gone and we could see hitters be normal hitters instead of home run or strikeout hitters. That's all I'm asking for. I just want normal baseball stuff. When you work in a tunnel, if anyone's ever hit, if you're working in a cage, working in a tunnel, we're taught to hit it up the middle. but now there's constantly a shortstop there and you're no longer rewarded for hitting a ball hard right back where it came from, that is a problem. I don't care about...
You're forgetting the part where we were taught to hit it the other way, too. But that's a separate conversation that we've already had.
That's a separate conversation because we were hitting against kids throwing 82 in high school or maybe 88 in college, but we weren't dealing with sinkers at 98 miles an hour running away from you.
You're also forgetting about the fact that we weren't professional hitters at that time, but that's a conversation.
True. That's true.
That we've also already had.
I not once outside of maybe a hit and run scenario was I like looking for a ball away to drive it away.
No, but I'm just tired of hearing people say, it's easier said than done to just hit the other. I see it all the time. I see people beat the shift, and I'm like, what a crazy concept. It's just that people don't find that sexy. And if they're really honest with themselves,
who's to say they're not trying though? Who's to say they're not trying? I mean, we're talking about I
didn't say that, but you sure know that there is a percentage of hitters out there that aren't because they don't want to.
Well, yeah, now because we know that it's going to be gone next year. These guys might as well just do what they regularly do. Okay. Because they know that these things are going to change next year. But I'm telling you, to say that the shift isn't affecting offensive production is naive. You have to know that it's a part of the equation.
I'm not naive to think that that's not the case, but I'm just saying you can't pin it on that. I don't know why we're not talking about the changes in the baseballs and how hitters are saying.
The baseballs change every year. That's clear that MLB has no idea what they're doing when it comes to that. So I do agree with you there.
I just saw the video. I saw a video of Will Middlebrooks again today talking about how he said a top 5 hitter or a top 5 player in baseball texted me the other day and said it feels like they're hitting a wet sock or like a rolled up sock. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell me
I agree.
That has to do with
the
shift?
Agree.
I don't know what Major League Baseball is doing with the balls because we've already heard reports that pitchers are saying that they still feel like 2 different baseballs are being used. So I don't know what you can chalk that up to, but it's beyond it's
that's
beyond
definitely
just
a conspiracy. That's definitely a conspiracy that is valid in my mind.
Well,
I do agree with you.
They admitted to it last year. It's just a matter of whether or not they're still doing it this year. I don't think that's been determined yet.
I do agree. Definitely agree. And I think when you watch guys, I know we make fun of them when like guys pimp or bat flip a ball that goes, it's caught at the track or off the wall or whatever. I think that should tell you right there. These guys hit baseballs all day, every day. They know when they catch it. They know when it's 10 or 15 rows deep. When they bat flip a ball that gets caught at the track, I think that's telling you that there is something going on with these balls. I do agree.
And you can't pinpoint that on the shift.
You can pinpoint a lot of offensive production on the shift. I absolutely think that's a big part of it.
But you just acknowledged my what is really my only point.
It can't be multiple parts, the multiple variables in that equation.
I didn't say that, but I said specifically looking at the flight of the ball, the way the ball is jumping or not jumping off the bat. That's what I'm looking at. Like, yes, you can look at the shift. That's a quantifiable thing. Like you can analyze that. I'm saying from a purely baseball perspective, just an eye test perspective, you can look at these balls and say,
well, I don't think we even need an eye test. Someone who's good at math can understand that at 99 coming in, an exit velocity of 115 or whatever should equate to this distance every time. But if the ball is changing and that exit velocity is going down, how are we attributing why that exit velocity is going down? It has to be because of the ball. I do agree with you. Now, if we're seeing exit velocities fluctuate a ton this year versus last year, then we can start to point towards the baseball. I do agree with that. I don't know who has that number. I don't know if we can find it anywhere.
Yeah, that's also a quantifiable thing. But I'm saying, even not being in the
You're
stadium,
saying you don't need it. Yeah.
We've watched enough baseball on TV to know when you see a ball, when you see a guy get into one, that's at least 10 rows back.
Yeah.
Catching them on the track.
Yeah.
Like, to your point, hitters know. They know when they get into one, they know they've got it. Us as fans, We know because we watch baseball all the time.
Same thing with like when John Sterling got, caught with the call on Stanton's ball that was caught at the track.
Let's not lump that.
But Stanton pimped that too. That's what I'm saying. That's another circumstance where you know that a hitter who knows how to hit home runs, that knows when he catches it right, it's going. He stood there expecting it to go. Don't change your narrative. Don't change your argument just because I brought in Yankees talk.
I'm not.
All right. I'm just letting you know.
Were we not at that game?
No, I'm not talking about the wild card game. I'm talking about like a week ago. You didn't see that video?
Oh yeah, when he totally botched it again.
Yeah. Where you're like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, John Sterling. Much respect to the guy, but he needs to visit my eye doctor because I don't know what's going on there, but it's happened more than once.
It's also sitting way up there, so it's not easy. But
why do we not hear Why do we not hear? We don't hear this with other broadcasters.
Well, it's because my guy got too confident in the moment, for sure. If it happens twice, they were saying it's now a trend of what he does.
Has it happened once with anyone else so confident? No, so confidently.
Yes, it definitely happens.
I'm not talking about this one looks like it could go and caught it. I'm not talking one of those. I'm saying Stantonian blast.
We're not talking about Matt Vasgersian saying he fouled one off when it was a home run that was 6 rows up. Did you hear that video? Matty V, like a week ago at the Angels, was like, and he fouled that one off. And ball is gone.
Also a different situation because he's not at the park. He's broadcasting from a television screen that we are also looking at. So not the greatest.
How do you know? He calls all the Angels games. Was he not there?
Was that an Angels game?
Broadcaster.
I don't think. No, that was that not a?
I don't think he does any MLB
game?
Network stuff. No, I don't think he does any of those.
Okay, either way,
games.
I'm not talking.
Either way. I think we're on the same page. I do agree with you. I think there's something going on with the ball. I think it's, like you said, it's been admitted the last few years by MLB. And it's just like, can we get some type of transparency? Tell us that
Stantonian blast onto the Mass Pike. Oh, and it's caught in front of the monster.
Those balls were hitting off of the monster at the top. So
no, that's fair.
Normal.
Remind me again, was that the same ball that there was a play at the plate and any and all momentum was shattered?
I'm blaming Phil Nevin. Yeah, that was the same ball.
Was that a different ball?
I think it was the same ball.
All this talk about just mammoth Stantonian blast. And
that's all right. I think I've fully accepted that we won't have any positive Yankees talk on here ever again.
All this,
all of it's going to be slander. Well, we won't talk about the 7-10 Red Sox.
Who opened up tonight's podcast talking about how?
But there's no slander. You just said you're upset. Talk about your atrocious, ridiculous.
Their lineup is garbage right now.
All right, there we go.
What do you want me to say?
Now we're talking. Now I just wanted a little bit of something.
All this talk of Stantonian blast and putting balls.
You're trying to mix in a SeatGeek ad.
I'm not trying to. I'm successfully mixing in a SeatGeek ad.
It's the end.
Did you say seat?
I want you to read through this as fast as you can, and I want the listeners to see who is better at their ad read.
Let me ask you this. Am I allowed to, are we just looking for speed here and errors?
Straight speed, but errors are going to be counted against you because I don't think I had too many errors. I was pretty clean.
I'll give you that. Yours are for the most part pretty clean.
Just wait till you hear the speed. I
feel like you have a shorter ad read. Actually, I got them both up right here. Yeah, yours is definitely shorter, at least in terms of word count. All right, here we go. Just so we're clear, if you go back and listen to previous ad reads, there's one or two parts. I can't even figure out. I can't even remember which sentence it is, but there's one or two parts where I just can't pronounce. So I don't know if it's the.
Uh-oh. What word is it? Is it just a word jumble?
It's the part. Hold on. It's the we're making it even better for you if you. See, I can't even see it. We're making it. This is like. Listen to this. I don't know why I wrote this. I need to change this. we're making it even better for you if you're a first. See, that's what I need to change. If you are a first time, that's what messes me up.
Well, see, mine is like that line where it's like iconic pouches packed with shredded, flavorful bubble gum. That's not easy to read. I don't know why I get caught up in that so much, but I was pretty good today. So,
all right, here we go.
Let's just see. And I want listeners to let us know. I'm actually curious. Pop those bad boys on. Those blue lights.
I'm gonna put these glasses on here.
Those aren't real.
They're
Do you have contacts and glasses in right now?
No, I don't have. I took my contacts out. That's why I'm putting my glasses on so I can see.
I just wasn't sure if you get like double the superpower. Do you get double superpower when you do both?
I'm not a showman. No.
Do people do that?
It makes it worse almost. I don't like it. All right, here we go.
I've never needed them, so no big deal.
Way to rub it in. All right, here we go. Can you just say seat real quick?
Did you say seat?
No, you say seat.
Seat?
Did you say seat? SeatGeek. It's the answer to all your ticket needs. Are you looking for tickets? Do you have plans of friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert? Or are you even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks. Or make it even better for you if you're a first-time user. SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. It's all you got to do is save some of that.
Code hard cash.
And a promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod at checkout. SeatGeek.
That was solid. You had a little hiccup there.
2 hiccups, but for the most part, I was pretty clean.
Well, I'm excited for you to go back and listen for the edit, and I feel good about mine. I think the word count goes a lot towards you reading off our handle and clarifying what the promo code is.
Yeah,
a lot of it is used right there.
That was a fun little competition, but just so we don't lose out on potential SeatGeek sales for maybe some new listeners that have never heard this before, our promo code is the number 3, the number 0, take pod. You save $20 instantly off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So if you said the number 3, the number 0, just look at our social handle. That's our promo code. All caps. They have $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user.
I want a new promo code, honestly.
Dude, I suggested it before they agreed to it.
They suck.
I was like, can we have like
with that? I know.
Can we have like 3? Well, actually, that wouldn't even have been any better. I got to get rid of the numbers.
I don't think anyone at SeatGeek even listens to this.
No. Definitely.
I used Vivid Seats when I went to the game on Saturday.
Right, now I'm gonna have to go and bleep that out. You're over here talking about our competitors.
Direct competitor.
What an idiot. What an idiot. All right, that'll do it for this one. That one really went off the rails.
Yeah. Good start of the week. I'm proud of you. You held it together. Ish.
That was good. We needed a lighthearted ending there after just
it's miserable. Just gut punches.
Misery.
Gut punches. Oh, guys.
All right, so what did we learn today, kids?
Don't throw trash at humans.
Don't throw trash at humans. Try to upset Angel so much that he gets fired.
Mm-hmm. And
use our promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user.
At SeatGeek.
And then buy Big League Chew.
Yeah, obviously that's a given.
That's your homework.
Big League Chew. You got to do that. That's it. I mean, that's a good, solid task list for the week. Also, don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all. And as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.